We open this meeting. This is the Board of Directors meeting of the Columbia County 911 Communications District, November 17th, 2022. Roll call. I'm Bruce Halsey, the board president. If the rest of the board members would like to introduce themselves, please.
Jeff Flatt, Rainier.
Rob Anderson, Scampoos.
And for staff, Mike Fletcher, Executive Director, Nathan Hughes, Technical Manager, Danielle Hooper, Operations Manager. Got Mary Jo Beck, Admin. Nancy's absent. She's working on our audit. And online we have staff member Chandra Egan.
Okay. Public comment. Does anyone like to comment to the board? Remember, you have 3 minutes.
This should be pretty quick. Tyler Miller for the record. I just want to remind everybody that on November 29th at 1 p.m., Tate Communications is coming out to do their presentation that the city worked on with them. It should last until roughly about 4 p.m., but that's going to be dependent on questions and all that great stuff. There were some indications from some board members from the doodle poll that they were able to attend, so we hope that that's still the case. If not, if you can let us know, we would appreciate that, just so that we can be professional and inform Tate of that, and also make sure that we adjust the space accommodations as necessary. We do think that the presentation that Tate gives on the 29th might be a little bit different than the one that I think Mike has invited them to, the one on December 1st as well with Motorola. The city spent a lot of time doing surveys with all the different agencies. We sat down with almost every one of the chiefs, the sheriff, all the school district superintendents, a lot of elected officials, a lot of appointed officials. There were a lot of interviews that were done, and they were asked to give feedback on a myriad of different questions and rate them in importance of 1 to 10. And all that data is being combined, and it will be presented to everybody that attends so that you can see what the priorities were as far as the usership and others establish those priorities. So all of that to say, if you're planning on coming on the 1st of December, please also come on the 29th of November, because we do think there's going to be more information, some really good information, and we don't know exactly what the scope is going to be limited to on the 1st. I haven't seen any details on that yet, so all I can speak to is what's going to be shared on the 29th, and I know that's going to be a lot of great information, and I hope that all of you and everybody will attend, and it is open to the public, of course. Thank you.
Thank you. And what time did that start? I just heard
It's scheduled to start at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
And then we think that it will last roughly to about 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, sorry, we are going to have at least one of the public safety chiefs speak about the importance of different things in a radio system too, to kind of educate. We know that you guys probably know a lot of those things, but some of the other folks are invited and going to be attending, they may not know. And so at least one of the administrators from at least one of the law enforcement agencies in the county is going to talk about the importance of some of these things that are, being considered in the radio system. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Where are we at here?
Approval.
Okay. Approval of October 25th, 22. Oh wait, sorry. Should I do the agenda? If there's any additions to the agenda,
You can do that.
Yeah. Are there any additions to the agenda that need to be made? Sorry, I skipped it.
None from staff.
Anything from the board? Nope. Okay. Approval of minutes. I need approval of the October 25, 2022 board and advisory joint advisory meeting. I will accept a motion for approval of the meeting minutes.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Rob. Is there a second? There is a second. Any discussion? Not hearing any discussion. We'll call for the vote. Oh,
I'll
go
just
ahead.
make a comment. I noticed, as I was talking with Mary Jo here, how at least the new way it does it has all the timestamps on there.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. Okay, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's passed. Minutes are approved. Financial reports. Acceptance of the budget variance.
Chair, I will move to accept the budget variance report as presented.
Okay, do we hear a second? Okay, seconded by Jeff. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Not hearing any discussion, we'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nothing. Motion passes. Approval of expenditures. Do we have a motion to approve the expenditures?
Mr. Chair, I will move to approve the expenditures as presented from check number 31056 through 31113. Correction, that's 31055.
Okay.
Well, I guess they're out of sequence there. So that's all in numerical order. So I'll change my motion to accept the expenditures as presented. Check number 31087 through 31113, including electronic deposits and payments for a grand total of $243,912.12.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Jeff. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Go ahead.
So because it was out of sequence, I have to amend my motion because actually the first check number is 31055. It's on the very bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right, let's call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Operation Manager's Report. Danelle.
Hiring update of a new communication specialist that's going to start on November 28th. And one of our trainees just finished training. And she's going to be solo as of today. We have one inquiry externally that resulted in training. And our staff participated in that Halloween trunk or treat event at the fairgrounds, and it went really well. We finished our fall training, and it was very successful.
All right. That's good, you guys going out in the public and doing that stuff. That's good. Anything else for Danelle from the board? Not hearing any. Technical Managers Report. Nathan.
We had a Magic server update that went over well. Took about 10 minutes to take everything down and bring it back up. Pano AI, we're still working with them to look into Bald Mountain. We have a new person starting in my department, a technology and facilities specialist, who will be starting next Monday. And then the carpets were professionally cleaned and dispatched. As always, while the water came up brown.
We also had the consoles themselves cleaned.
Yes.
The internals.
Oh, no dust bunnies when you turn on the fans?
We try and keep those to a minimum.
All right. Anything for Nathan from the board? Not hearing any none. Old business, Mike.
Alrighty, so winter prep, we're still wrapping up radio site generator PMs. Refueling is complete. Bald Hill update. I just this morning got an update from Day Wireless. We're expecting delivery of parts and pieces hopefully within the next 2 to 4 weeks. So that's good news. I'll keep you posted on that. Meisner, there's no update other than Day Wireless was relocating the shelter to be staged at the site. So it is moving forward. Haven Acres, there's no update there. And the Phase 3 microwave upgrades, we continue to receive additional equipment from that order. And we're distributing that equipment around the county. We have some here, some at Day Wireless, some at some of our sites. We're expecting within the next few weeks the UPS systems, which are pretty impressive weight and size, so I got to find a place for those. Next Gen Radio project, we've identified Thursday, December 1st as the date that both Tate and Motorola have agreed to meet with the board and all of our user agencies. We have a reservation for a location. We've made the reservation. We're supposed to get the confirmation this morning, probably in the next 45 minutes or so, I hope. And once I get that, I'll be sending it back out to all of you and the user group. It too will be a public meeting, so we're just waiting for that final confirmation this morning, and then we'll post it to the local papers.
What time does that start? No, the end at 6, right?
Yeah, we're guessing 5 or 6 p.m. it'll end. Timing of the start, that's one of the issues we're negotiating with the owner. So,
Gotcha. Thank you.
I sent out an email, I hope it was today's Thursday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, regarding radio system disruption from this past weekend. If you got that email, if you have any questions, the issue was the commercial provider, Western Oregon Electric, had an outage and a system down. It affected my Klatskanai site. The generators, the fuel is there. What the issue, and we have a UPS system, and that did hold the site for some period of time, but at some point it lost its charge. Normally what takes place is a commercial disruption takes place. The UPS is holding the site until the generator kicks over, spins up to speed, and then takes over the load. That didn't happen. The generator tried, but the block heater failed, and there was thermostat air, so the generator never did fire. Power Systems West responded to the call. They replaced the block heater. The thermostat's on back order, but the site's back up. A little disappointing that Western Oregon Electric was not aware of a system outage in their own system until we called them, and not unusual, they chose not to respond. It's a repeat experience with them. Any questions on that?
Are we going to talk more about that issue later on, or now would be the time to have discussion?
Well, we can discuss it right now. That's fine. Yeah.
So if I recall right, that is the hub, right, for the voting?
No, it's
Or it affects part of that.
well, that site's important because it's a high point, and what the main issue is, of course, once it goes down, the microwave links between Klatskanai, Corey Hill, Klatskanai, and Columbia Heights, that it's dead. The prime site is Columbia Heights. That's where the voters live.
Okay. So I just know because also because the performance was down, and that meant it appeared that the remote site in Scappoose wasn't working either.
It breaks that link.
Yes.
Yes.
Historically, forgive me for the newer board members for one thing, we have talked a lot about generator monitoring systems. And they are significant investment. And at this point, I'm kind of looking at recently, all of our recent failures, what they have been, to the system, and they all come back to kind of the weakest link of being the gensets, interruption of power. And things have been thrown out in the past about we have cameras. How about a camera that's just on the security system that points at the generator panel for now? So at least they could see it in dispatch. And my question would be, because I know in a new radio system the idea is to have reporting and everything monitored.
Correct.
But until then, if this being such a key site, is there an option to at least go back to something where when the radio is on the UPSs, that it does like the beep after each transmission to let the
Dispatchers.
to let everybody know. And it doesn't have to be all channels, it can be just one channel. I think we used to have that before, and I know it was kind of common in other places. That's where after you'd transmit, you'd hear a beep at the end. Almost what's we call like a Roger beep. And if that was tied into letting us know, at least when it's on the UPSs, that would kind of be the red flag, because that means we know we're not on utility or generator. And I'm just trying to look at, what is the cheapest option for now to try to at least monitor it, to keep something like this from happening again. Because that way, if it did fail, the dispatchers and all the end users would be hearing the beep and knowing that something's up and going on.
Is that expensive, Mike? Or
I'm making a note here too.
And the nice thing is, if our repeaters support it, there's no infrastructure to where you have to have links to go from site to site for monitoring. It's all at least just local to that one site with that one radio. So hopefully it wouldn't be too much of an investment to try to get something like that up and running. So I know you also talked about the age of the genset. I'd be curious too, because I know the one that came down from Bald was pretty darn old. I know overseeing, and generators are fun, because I know the one we have in Chapman I have fun with. I actually had to disable its block heater because it would do an over rev shutdown when it starts warm.
And that's exactly what this is doing.
And I know when I tinkered on it last time, it was doing kind of the same thing because it didn't have the block heater. At least it's saying low temperature, but at least it's only a warning, not a shutdown.
Right.
But I'm just curious, what is the age and status of that unit?
So I checked on that because that is one of our options, is just to wholesale replace that entire generator. And I believe it's 92. So, it's justifiable to replace it.
pretty old?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, is it worn so it doesn't have enough compression and that's why I needed the block heater? Because like I said, I know the newer ones, they stumble a little bit when they start, but usually they will still fire up cold.
Yeah. Well, part of our process for any new radio system is a holistic look at everything. And we have already started that list of, because we have a desire to get away from diesel. And so the advantage of the Clatskanie side, it is propane. So it would be a fairly simple lift and replace a set there. But we also know that dispatch needs to be replaced. Columbia Heights is a whole other issue, what we're going to do there, but that's all part of the conversation about which machines need to be replaced, upgraded. But I've made a note, Rob, and we'll continue the talks with Dave.
Just kind of a question. So, West Oregon Electric, when you called them, they just pretty much just blew us off. I guess that would be my. I don't know how to say it correct or politely, but
From end user experience on the Scappoose Fire side, sometimes they won't do a special call out. They'll just wait until scheduled crews are on shift and dispatch them then.
well, I'm not a user of their utility, but to me that seems a little unacceptable. For a 911 radio site, is it something we can discuss maybe with their manager, or no satisfaction there?
It's on our list of follow-ups to do, but this is an ongoing long history of that type of customer service. The other things that we were asked by their on-call service was the location of the meter and the meter number. That's actually something we don't even keep track of. I'm sure it's probably on our bill somewhere what the meter, maybe, I don't know. But that's not something dispatch has. It's not even something I have on my phone when I talk to them, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's unacceptable, but I mean, it's not out of our control, obviously, but
Right.
wow. Okay.
Let's see if there's anything else I have in old business there. The CFO recruitment. I had a really good meeting with SDAO, seeking their assistance or at least advice, because we've been in a recruitment process for Nancy's position for in excess of 6 months, and have had failure after failure of getting a qualified candidate. And so their recommendation to us was to they gave us the option of 2 different highly respected recruitment firms. And so I am talking to those folks. They share some common counsel, which is we're in a good group. We're like a club, because many local governments are having the same exact issue regarding finance people, trying to find interested and qualified people. But they both said that it is improving, and it's all relative, but they are getting better successes. They also counseled that it could be a multiple process. Recruitment fails, you redo it a second time, and maybe even a third time, but they do eventually get folks. And there's different levels of services that they can provide, from total turnkey, they do absolutely everything, to some modification in between us doing it and them doing it. So it's affordable. It does cost money. It's not a free service. And I'm just working out the details with one of them right now. So going further down on next is the SDO conference. We talked about that the last meeting. It's February 9th through 12th. It's being held at Sun River, so if anyone that's interested and wants to confirm, please let Mary Jo know. And then Northwest Leadership Seminar is March 1 through 3 at Jansen Beach. Same instructions if you're interested. Please confirm with Mary Jo.
Okay. Anything else? Good to go.
That's all I have, sir.
New business, Mr. Fletcher.
That's none there.
Okay. Director's report.
I kind of just did that. There's no executive session today.
Okay. So agenda items for December 22, 2022.
And is that correct? The 22nd, or is it the 20th?
Is that the one?
Because I have a conflict on 2 of my things here, so I'm not even
The
too.
fourth Thursday is the 22nd.
It is the 22nd. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you. I had it wrong on my other one. So the 22nd, want to be sensitive if folks are going to be out of town on holiday or anything. So
And that is a 9 morning meeting?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a conflict on that one.
You do. Jeff's has a conflict. I don't know about Henry.
I'm good on that day. Rob?
I will have it off, so I have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Shelley, you're okay? Well, 3 of you are going to be there, and we have a quorum.
Yeah, and I could possibly Zoom.
Okay.
Meeting, so.
The question is, our agreement with C800,
C800?
what was the timeline on that?
Oh, thank you. Why did I miss that? The two attorneys, the attorney for C-800 and our general counsel, are in communication with each other. They are drafting a letter. There was a conversation I had earlier this week. The recommendation from the October meeting was to enter and develop a letter of intent to C-800. It's semantics, I'm sure, but it's the two attorneys were talking about that, and they let me know that they're may amend a letter of intent to a memo of agreement. And I don't know really what the difference is between those two, but they seem to agree to agree. And so that's being drafted. I had an update Monday, and I await.
And the reason why I ask, why it's during discussion of this appointment,
Yep.
is I know the end users kind of wanted, after the presentations were done, kind of wanted to speed things along quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We entertained the notion of doing a workshop, potentially.
That would technically be the December 1. We hope to have everything ready by then.
So are we planning to come up with a path in December, or will that be probably about January?
Well, the crystal ball is a little fuzzy. A couple things that were in addition to the conversation with the attorneys at the first part of this week was while they agree to agree, they need some particulars. And the particulars is the itemized list of what those 3 sites contain. So follow-up conversation with the keeper of that information is Motorola, and I have talked to them to contact the 2 attorneys to provide that information. So that's all in work. And so I think, I don't want to speak for you, the board, or the users, but on the first, I think we all collectively need to have a complete understanding of what Tate is going to be talking about, and then what Motorola is going to talk about. So I think it's, this is just me saying, I think it's a little premature to predict what we're going to hear, and then what's the pleasure of the advisory committee and the board after hearing that information.
So sorry I've taken a long way to get here.
Yeah.
But the question is it is so close to Christmas, and it's that week that everything is busy and probably inconvenient for a lot of people, staff, public, and users. Could we entertain maybe not having a meeting in December?
Absolutely.
And,
I don't think-
and if necessary, maybe just bumping up the January meeting to be earlier.
So one of the things that staff does on a regular basis when we develop the agendas, we're always looking, okay, when's the next meeting? Obviously I wrote it down wrong. So but we always first check with ourselves, do we see any conflicts? Is there other stuff going on before we officially put it on here? But that was also a topic of conversation. Hey, it's the 22nd of December. Is anybody opposed to, if the board wants to postpone or just move it, and there's no hesitation? So I think that could be very reasonable.
I'm fine with that. I kind of like the idea of maybe moving it up if you guys feel that's necessary to get business done. I mean, I don't like us holding any of you guys up, but from the sounds of it, we're not. So
There's nothing pressing in the immediate future that we need to take to you for action, with the exception of we are all going to get educated on the first, but it's going to be up to you guys to direct what you want done after the first. Whether I can see a whole Gantt chart of options, but I'm just guessing.
well, for me, I mean, listening to those 2 presentations, it's going to take me a while to digest it. I mean, just me, because I'm not a radio guru and never claimed to be, but you know, for as far as those meetings for me to digest it, I mean, the timeline would work fine for me, but I don't speak for the rest of the members of the board. So I guess that'd be up to you guys.
Yeah, I would have to say we maybe make a decision after
The first.
the first and then
So it works for me.
from there.
Well, yeah, 'cause my thought is if we're gonna do that on the first, and we have some next steps, why put that off to January if we can make a plan at the December meeting to get that next ball rolling, so we can keep rolling with it rather than putting it off.
The only thing, and I'm not an attorney, but the first is just a special work session. It's just an opportunity to get educated. It's not officially a board meeting. So if you're taking action or directing action, I would run that by legal. What's
We'd
the
have to
proper-
schedule another
Yeah.
meeting to do that.
Yeah.
Well, could we postpone this and then if we feel necessary, then pop the meeting?
Sure.
I mean,
Oh,
you know, I mean, it'd be a consensus of the board, of course. I mean,
right.
how do you guys feel about that?
I'm good with that.
Because I know just for, like I said, for me, it takes me a while to digest stuff. So I know I would not be ready anytime after that presentation to, you know, give you a yes vote on something. And that's just me. But I'm only one vote, and it's the way the world works.
Yeah, we just need time for the logistics, and part of that is public notice. So, but it's your pleasure.
What do you think, Shelley?
So you're saying wait till the first and see what comes out of that before we make a decision?
Yeah, 'cause
on
we
the
just need-
December meeting, is that what I'm
Is
hearing?
it seven days to post? I can't remember how it was.
It's usually, yeah.
7 days, okay.
I mean,
So-
I can commit to the 22nd. You're tentative, that could always be canceled. But I'm looking at, even if we did take action on the 22nd, nothing's going to happen until the end of the holiday season
That's a
anyway.
fact.
That's the only reason why I mentioned if we do push it to January, if we just want to move that meeting up a little bit, a couple weeks. But I'm fine either way.
Me too. I mean, like I said though, after this education thing for me, I mean, I wanna read it. I wanna. I just.
I like the idea of maybe moving it up in January and up to
Does that work for you, Shelley, or?
Always depends on
That's
the.
fine, but I can't answer whether I'd be available for the meeting
Okay.
right now. Not knowing when that would
Right.
be.
Well, we could look-
22nd, I am available.
We can look at the calendars of, and then just fling it out to you guys saying, okay, we can identify X, Y, and Z as potential dates early January.
I'm fine with that route. But is the rest of the board fine with that?
Yep.
Okay. I don't think we need to do anything on it, do we?
No, so just for the record and for us clarity, tentatively we'll keep the 22nd date, but we could move it to early January if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any other business from any staff or anything else? No? Okay, board members' comments. Rob, you want to go first? Do you have anything?
No, nice quick meeting here. Just thanks for the staff, and especially I'm kind of crunch time right now because I know we have a lot on the plate here approaching the end of the year. And so we're looking forward to the presentations, and again, as I said before, I encourage everyone to attend them. If anything, just to increase your base knowledge, because we're going to have some serious discussions here coming up soon.
I agree. Shelley?
Well, my apologies for being late.
You made
It's
it
a
on
little
time.
dicey up on.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say-
wasn't expecting it to be quite so dicey, but the Vernonia side of things was not fun.
Could
So I
imagine.
apologize for that.
I'm glad you made it in one piece.
Yeah, oh yeah. I wasn't gonna, yeah.
Anything else, Shelley?
No, I don't think so. I guess if we're not gonna meet in December, I'm gonna wish you guys all a happy holiday,
Yeah.
because December 1st won't be the time to do that, so I'll say it now.
Jeff?
Oh, I just wanted to appreciate this, what the staff did when the outage happened. It sounded like there was a system in place and everything. You hate to see something like that happen, and we can always try to improve and prevent. And I like what Rob had to say. It's definitely something to look at with that, so that we can try to catch those kind of things sooner. But it sounds like everything went,
As best as can be.
as good as possible. So I'm looking forward to the presentations coming up to learn more about all of that. And that's it.
Well, I agree with everything that's been said, so I'm going to keep it short. So, happy holidays, and this meeting is adjourned.
What's going on when that